jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are reading Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Rakshamam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll start then. Rudra beads are used by the devotees of Lord Shiva. Dressed as a brahmachari, Lord Narayana stood before Lord Shiva. The significant effulgence emanating from his body attracted not only Lord Shiva but also the demon Vrikasura. Lord Narayana offered his respects and obeisances unto Vrikasura, just to attract his sympathy and attention. Thus, checking the demon, the Lord addressed him as follows: My dear son of Shakuni, you appear very tired, as if coming from a very distant place. What is your purpose? Why have you come so far? I see that you are fatigued, so I request you to take a little rest. You should not unnecessarily tire your body. Everyone greatly values his body, because with this body only can one fulfill all the desires of one's mind. We should not, therefore, unnecessarily give trouble to this body. This is Krishna speaking to a demon, Vrikasura. The brahmachari addressed Vrikasura as the son of Shakuni, just to convince him that he was known to his father. Shakuni. Vrikasura then took the brahmachari to be someone known to his family, and therefore the brahmachari's sympathetic words appealed to him. Before the demon could argue that he had no time to take rest, the Lord informed him about the importance of the body, and the demon was convinced. Any man, especially a demon, takes his body to be very important. This Vrikasura became convinced about the importance of this body. Then, just to pacify the demon, the brahmachari told him, My dear Lord, if you think that you can disclose the mission for which you have taken the trouble to come here, maybe I shall be able to help you so that your purpose will be easily served. Indirectly, the Lord informed him that because the Lord is the Supreme Brahman, he would certainly be able to adjust the awkward situation created by Lord Shiva. The demon was greatly pacified by the sweet words of Lord Narayana in the form of a brahmachari, and at last he disclosed all that had happened in regard to the benediction offered by Lord Shiva. The Lord replied to the demon as follows: I myself cannot believe that Lord Shiva has in truth given you such a benediction. As far as I know, Lord Shiva is not in a sane mental condition. He had a quarrel with his father-in-law Daksha, and he has been cursed to become a Pisacha, ghost. Thus, he has become the leader of the ghosts and hobgoblins. Therefore, I cannot put any faith in his words. But if you still have faith in the words of Lord Shiva, my dear king of the demons,
then why don't you make an experiment by putting your hand on your own head? If the benediction proves false, then you can immediately kill this liar, Lord Shiva, so that in the future he will not dare give out false benedictions. In this way, by Lord Narayan's sweet words and by the expansion of his superior illusion, the demon became bewildered, and he actually forgot the power of Lord Shiva and his benediction. He was thus very easily persuaded to put his hand on his own head. As soon as the demon did that, his head cracked as if struck by thunder, and immediately died. The demigods from heaven began to shower flowers on Lord Narayan, praising him with all glories and all thanksgiving, and they offered their obeisances to the Lord. On the death of Vrikasura, all the denizens in the higher planetary systems, namely the demigods, the Pitas, the Gandharvas, and the inhabitants of Janaloka, showered flowers on the personality of Godhead. Thus Lord Vishnu, in the form of a brahmachari, released Lord Shiva from the impending danger and saved the whole situation. Lord Narayan then informed Lord Shiva that this demon, Vikashura, was killed as a result of his sinful activities. He was especially sinful and offensive because he wanted to experiment on his own master, Lord Shiva. Lord Narayan then told Lord Shiva, "My dear Lord, a person who commits an offence to great souls cannot continue to exist. He is vanquished by his own sinful activities. And this is certainly true of this demon, who has committed such an offensive act against you." So, a quick example from Prabhupada, Lila Rita. Remember they were getting, was it Juhu? The land, they were trying to get the land from Juhu, and the landowner was trying to cheat Prabhupada.
Yeah, and he was killed by Lord Nrsimha.
He was actually, Hare Krishna. Thus, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan, who is transcendental to all material qualities, Lord Shiva was saved by being killed by a demon. Anyone who hears this history with faith and devotion is certainly liberated from material entanglement, and as well as from the clutches of his enemies.
Should I start? Yeah.
This is very personalist.
Yes. Voidists.
Voidists, yes.
Chapter, did you read this? Yeah? Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 87th chapter of Krishna, Deliverance of Lord Shiva. Shiva. Chapter 88, the super excellent power of Krishna. Long, long ago, there was an assembly of great sages on the bank of the river Sarasvati, who performed a great sacrifice of the name Satrayagya. In such assemblies, the great sages present usually discuss Vedic subject matters and philosophical topics, and in this particular meeting, the following question was raised. The three predominating deities of this material world, namely Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, are directing all the affairs of this cosmos. But who among them is the supreme? After much discussion of this question, the great sage named Prithu, the son of Lord Brahma, was deputed to test all three predominating deities and report to the assembly as to who is the greatest. Being thus deputed, the great sage Prithu Muni first of all went to his father's residence in Brahmaloka. The three deities are the controllers of the three material qualities, namely the qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance. The plan decided upon by the sages was for Prithu to test which of the predominating deities possesses the quality of goodness in full. Therefore, when Prithu Muni reached his father, Lord Brahma, because he wanted to test whether he had the quality of goodness, he purposely did not offer his respects to his father, either by offering obeisances or by offering prayers. It is the duty of a son or a disciple to offer respects and recite suitable prayers when he approaches his father or spiritual master. But Prithu Muni purposely failed to offer respects, just to see Lord Brahma's reaction to his negligence. Lord Brahma
was very angry at his son's impotence. And he showed signs which definitely proved this to be so. He was even prepared to condemn Prithu by cursing him, but because Prithu was his son, Lord Brahma controlled his anger with his great intelligence. This means that although the quality of passion was prominent in Lord Brahma, he had the power to control it. Lord Brahma's anger and his controlling his anger are likened to fire and water. Water is produced from fire, but fire can be extinguished with water. Similarly, Lord Brahma was very angry due to his quality of passion. He could still control his passion because Prithu Muni was his son. And by the way, if you become extremely angry, you get problems with your liver. How about that?
apart from many other problems.
Many other problems. After testing Lord Brahma, Prithu Muni went directly to the planet Kailash, where Lord Shiva resides. Prithu Muni happened to be Lord Shiva's brother. Therefore, as soon as Brigamuni approached, Lord Shiva was very glad and personally rose to embrace him. But when Lord Shiva approached, Brigamuni refused to embrace him. My dear brother, he said, you are always very impure. Because you smear your body with ashes, you are not very clean. Please do not touch me. When Brigamuni refused to embrace his brother, saying that Lord Shiva was impure, the latter became very angry with him. She said that an offence can be committed either with the body, with the mind, or by speech. Brigamuni's first offence was committed to Lord Brahma was an offence with the mind. His second offence committed towards Lord Shiva was by insulting him. Criticising him for unclean habits was an offence by speech. Because the quality of ignorance is prominent in Lord Shiva, when he heard Brigu's insult, his eyes immediately became red with anger. With uncontrollable rage, he took up his trident and prepared to kill Brigamuni. At that time, Lord Shiva's wife, Parvati, was present. Her personality is a mixture of the three qualities, and therefore she is called Triguna Mayi. In this case, she saved the situation by invoking Lord Shiva's quality of goodness. She fell down at the feet of her husband, and with her sweet words she talked to him out of killing Brigamuni. After being saved from the anger of Lord Shiva, Brigamuni went directly to the planet Svetadweep, where Lord Vishnu was lying on a bed of flowers, accompanied by his wife, the goddess of fortune, who was engaged in massaging his lotus feet. And there Brigamuni purposely committed the greatest sin by offending Lord Vishnu by his bodily activities. The first offence committed by Brigamuni was mental.
The second offence was vocal, and the third offence corporal. The different offences are progressively greater in degree. An offence committed within the mind is a positive offence. The same offence committed verbally is comparatively more grave, and when committed by bodily action, it is superlative in offensiveness. So Brigamuni committed the greatest offence by touching the chest of the Lord with his foot in the presence of the goddess of fortune. Of course, Lord Vishnu is all-merciful. He did not become angry at the activities of Brigamuni, for Brigamuni was a great Brahmana. A Brahmana is to be excused even if he sometimes commits an offence. And Lord Vishnu set the example. Yet it is said that from the time of this incident, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, has not been very favorably disposed toward the Brahmanas, and therefore, because the goddess of fortune withholds her benedictions from them, the Brahmanas are generally very poor. Brigamuni's touching the chest of Lord Vishnu with his foot was certainly a great offence, but Lord Vishnu is so great that he did not care. The so-called Brahmanas of the Kali Yuga are sometimes very proud that they can touch the chest of Lord Vishnu with their feet. But when Brigamuni touched the chest of Lord Vishnu with his feet, it was different, because although it was the greatest offence, Lord Vishnu, being greatly magnanimous, did not take it very seriously. Instead of being angry or cursing Brigamuni, Lord Vishnu immediately got up from his bed along with his wife, the goddess of fortune, and offered respectful obeisances to the Brahmana. He addressed Brigamuni as follows: "My dear Brahmana, it is a great blessing for me that you have come here. Please, therefore, sit down on this cushion and for a few minutes. My dear Brahmana, I am very sorry that when you first entered, I could not receive you properly. It was a great offence on my part, and I beg you to pardon me. You are so pure and great that the water which washes your feet can purify even the places of pilgrimage. Therefore, I request you to purify the Vaikuntha planets where I live with my associates. My dear Father, O great sage, I know that your feet are very soft, like a lotus flower, and that my chest is as hard as the thunderbolt. I am therefore afraid that you may have felt some pain by touching my chest with your feet. Let me touch your feet to relieve the pain you have suffered." Lord Vishnu began to massage the feet of Brigamuni.
And the Lord continued to address Brigham Mooney, "My dear Lord," he said, "my chest has now become sanctified because of the touch of your feet. I am now assured that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, will be very glad to live there perpetually." Another name for Lakshmi is Chanchala, indicating that she does not stay in one place for a long time. Therefore, we see that a rich man's family sometimes becomes poor after a few generations, and sometimes we see that a poor man's family becomes rich, very rich. Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is Chanchala in this material world, whereas in the Vaikuntha planets, she eternally lives at the lotus feet of the Lord. Because Lakshmi is famous as Chanchala, Lord Narayan indicated that she might not have been living perpetually by his chest, but because his chest had been touched by the feet of Brigham Mooney, he was now sanctified. And there was no chance that the goddess of fortune would leave. Brigham Mooney, however, could understand his position and that of the Lord, and he was struck at wonder at the behaviour of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of his gratitude, his voice choked up, and he was unable to reply to the words of the Lord. Tears glided from his eyes, and he could not say anything. He simply stood silently by the Lord. After testing Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, Brigham Mooney returned to the assembly of great sages on the bank of the river Sarasvati, and described his experience. After hearing him with great attention, the sages concluded that of all the predominating deities, certainly Vishnu is situated in the mode of goodness in the highest degree. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, these great sages are described as Brahma Vandinam. Brahma Vandinam means those who talk about the absolute truth but have not yet come to a conclusion. Generally, Brahmavadi refers to the impersonalists or those who are students of the Vedas. It is to be understood, therefore, that all the gathered sages were serious students of Vedic literature, but had not come to definite conclusions as to who is the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead. After hearing of Brigham Mooney's experience in meeting all three predominating deities, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu, the sages concluded that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Truth, the Personality of Godhead. It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam that after hearing the details from Brigham Mooney, the sages were astonished because although Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva were immediately agitated, Lord Vishnu, in spite of being kicked by Brigham Mooney,
it's different, sorry, for today. In spite of being kicked by Brigham Mooney, was not agitated the least. The example is given that small lamps may be agitated by a slight breeze, but the greatest lamp or the greatest illuminating source, the sun, is never moved, even by the greatest hurricane. One's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. Radhanath Swami's favorite line. He likes to quote this one. One's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. The sages gathered on the bank of the river Sarasvati concluded that if one wants actual peace and freedom from all fear, he should take shelter of the lotus feet of Vishnu. If Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva lost their peaceful attitude upon a slight provocation, how could they maintain the peace and tranquility of their devotees? As for Lord Vishnu, however, it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that anyone who accepts Lord Vishnu or Krishna as the supreme friend attains the highest perfection of peaceful life. The sages thus concluded that by following the principles of Vaishnava Dharma, one becomes actually perfect. But if one follows all the religious principles of a particular sect and does not become advanced in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, all such labor of love is fruitless. To execute religious principles means to come to the platform of perfect knowledge. If one comes to the platform of perfect knowledge, then he will be uninterested in material affairs. Perfect knowledge means knowledge of one's own self and the Supreme Self. The Supreme Self and the individual self, although one in quality, are different in quantity. This analytical understanding of knowledge is perfect. Simply to understand I am not matter, I am spirit, is not perfect knowledge. The real religious principle is devotional service or bhakti. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna says, "Give up all other religious principles and simply surrender unto me." Therefore, the term dharma applies only to the Vaishnava dharma or Bhagavad dharma, following which all other good qualities and advancements in life are automatically achieved. The highest perfection of knowledge is knowledge of the Supreme Lord. He cannot be understood by any process of religion other than devotional service. Therefore, the immediate result of perfect knowledge is achieved by executing devotional service. After attainment of knowledge, one becomes uninterested in the material world. This is not because of dry philosophical speculation. The devotees become uninterested in the material world not simply because of theoretical understanding, but because of practical experience. When a devotee realizes the effect of association with the Supreme Lord, he naturally hates the association of so-called society.
Friendship and love. This detachment is not dry, but is due to achieving the highest status of life by relishing transcendental mellows. It is further stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam that after attainment of such knowledge and detachment from material sense gratification, one's advantage in the 8 opulences attained by mystic yoga practice, such as anima, lahima, and praptisiddhis, is also achieved without separate effort. The perfect example is Maharaj Ambarish. He was not a mystic yogi, but a great devotee. Yet in a disagreement with Maharaj Ambarish, the great mystic Durvasa was defeated in the presence of his devotional attitude. In other words, a devotee does not need to practice the mystic yoga system to achieve power. The power is behind him by the grace of the Lord. Just as when a small child is surrendered to a powerful father, all the powers of the father are behind him. When a person becomes famous as a devotee of the Lord, his reputation is never to be extinguished. Lord Chaitanya, when discoursing with Ramananda Rai, questioned what is the greatest fame. Ramananda Rai replied that to be known as a pure devotee of Lord Krishna is perfect fame. The conclusion, therefore, is that Vishnu Dharma, or the religion of devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is meant for persons who are thoughtful by proper utilization of thoughtfulness. One comes to the stage of thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One becomes free from the contamination of the faulty association of the material world. Thus one becomes peaceful. The world is in a disturbed condition because of scarcity of such peaceful devotees in human society. Devotees equally disposed towards the animals, the human beings, and all living entities because he sees every living entity as part and parcel of the Supreme. In the Ishopanishad, it is clearly stated that one who has come to the stage of seeing all living entities equally does not hate anyone or favour anyone. The devotee does not hanker to possess more than he requires. The devotees are therefore a chinchana. In any condition of life, a devotee is satisfied. It is said that a devotee is even-minded whether he is in hell or in heaven. A devotee is callous to all subjects other than his engagement in devotional service. This mode of life is the highest perfectional stage.
We're done.
That's Krishna, and the Krishna book for this evening. It's the super excellent powers of Krishna. And this is the last chapter. Wow. And then we can start it again. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you for listening and have a good Krishna conscious evening. There's a beautiful darshan of Panchatattva.